So it's so appropriate for right now because hopefully all of you are avoiding going to the grocery store as much as possible. I know most of us have stocked up and are definitely using more canned foods. And I mean, it's good that we still have access to get some fresh foods and we can still go to the grocery store from time to time. But I know we're really trying to reduce that. I hope you're staying home as much as possible. So anyway, this recipe actually is from my book, The O2 Diet, which I actually it came out in 2010. Yeah, 2010. I cannot believe that, a decade ago. But I have to say it's still my absolute favorite book that I ever wrote. Because I just love the nutrient-dense recipes in it. And anyway, a whole lot of other reasons, but we'll save that for another live. Today I'm talking about one of my favorite recipes in my favorite book, and that is the black-eyed peed pesto salad. So again, this is super easy. I'm going to take you through each nutrient, then I'm going to show you how to just throw it together, and yeah, that's going to be it. So first of all, we've got black-eyed peas. One thing I love about black-eyed peas is that they are just as high in antioxidants as black beans and kidney beans. So super high in antioxidants. They're also packed with fiber, as most of you know, and also protein. So this recipe actually is fully plant-based. So for any of you out there that are vegan, this is also a great recipe for you. Or it's also a great side dish. But anyway, so one of the reasons I love black-eyed peas, they're kind of the unsung hero. Really, they're like they are. No one really, some people use them, but I don't really see them in that many recipes. So I love them. And one other thing I wanted to mention about cans, I already rinsed these, but you really want to make sure that you rinse your canned beans and really everything, because first of all, when it's beans, there's a little extra starch in that liquid, but also lots of sodium. So whenever you're using any canned items, you really want to make sure you rinse. So I already did that just to save some time here. So we've got the black-eyed peas. Then I've got tomatoes. These are fresh, of course, so this is the one fresh item I'm using. If you have any other fresh items too, you can certainly play around and use them up and throw them in. For example, I have mushrooms. I could throw my mushrooms in. But if you had anything else like that too, you can absolutely mix this up a little bit. So then I have olives. We know, healthy fat. These are actually from a jar. But the recipe actually calls for black canned olives, and I like the black olives in this recipe a little bit more than these, just because I actually like the mix of colors. I like a little bit of the black color, and the flavor I like a little bit more in this, but this is what I had, so this is what I'm using. Then canned artichokes. I also love artichokes because, as I mentioned, that this recipe was from that book, The O2 Diet. That book was actually all about antioxidants. And artichokes, you'll be surprised, maybe, are really one of the highest antioxidant vegetables. So super high in antioxidants, lots of fiber, even has a compound in it that is linked to lowering cholesterol. Love, love, love artichokes. I love artichokes raw, but also love them canned. A great thing to throw into many different dishes now. And then, of course, we have pine nuts. So just another great way to get in a little more healthy fat, a little protein, a little more antioxidants, and then we're going to have a little bit of pesto. This pesto, you can make pesto, of course, on your own. This is store-bought. So having store-bought pesto in the fridge is something that I love to have around just to make a kind of fast, easy recipe a little more exciting. When I have a little bit more time, it is fun to make it, but it's so easy just to, so it's pretty easy to make it too, but it's also just a kind of a simple food to keep around to add a lot of flavor to very basic other recipes. So all I'm going to do here, 3/4 cup, the beans, so easy. I also like to use as few dishes as possible. So this is 1 cup, but I'm actually putting in about 3/4 of a cup. But of course, I'm not a stickler with measuring things. I'm more just, by the way, also, I'm not a stickler with measuring things, and I'm not a stickler with actual following all the directions all the time. But this one is so easy, you can't mess up the directions. You just throw everything in the bowl. So that was that, the beans. Then I'm going to throw in the olives, which I said I already had cut. I already have and that was 1/4 cup of olives. No, not 1/4 cup, sorry, 2 tablespoons of olives. 2 tablespoons of sliced olives that I threw in. This is 1/4 cup of sliced tomatoes. Then I'm going to take out a few artichokes and I'm going to chop these up a little bit. And this is, I think the recipe calls for 1/4 cup or 1/3 cup, 1/4 cup. But obviously, you can play around depending upon what you like. So I'm just going to chop these up. Again, I love artichokes in so many different places. And if you're getting bored with some of the dishes you're making at home, you can even put artichokes into things like eggs. Honestly, like into an omelet with goat cheese, so delicious. Or you can put it on a turkey sandwich. And there's so many different things to do with artichokes. And hearts of palm is another thing that I love to keep around to add a little bit of flavor to some other basic, simple recipes. All right, so here we go so far. Here you go. Actually, I'm going to go in and see if we have any recipes in here. Do we have recipes in here? No. Do we have any questions in here? First of all, hi everyone. Hi everyone. Thanks for joining. So I see here from Joanna. Keri, can you speak upon the need for daily drink glass of wine? Yes, I will talk about that. As soon as I finish this recipe, I will chat with you about having a little bit of alcohol right now, which we know many people are having a little bit more. All right. Just going to mix this up with 2 tablespoons of pesto. And again, you can use a little bit less if you want. Here, I'm going to show you. See, doesn't it kind of look pretty already? So like I said, this can be a meal. This can be a side dish. I'm talking as I'm doing this, so this is taking a few more minutes. But seriously, you can see how this could literally take like less than 3 minutes to make. Okay, so there we go. And then I'm going to top it with 1 or 2 tablespoons pine nuts. I'll use 2. And there we go. See? Doesn't that look pretty? I mean, I could clean that up and it would look even prettier, but doesn't it look pretty? So delicious. So in this, like I said, it is a fully plant-based meal. We are getting loads of antioxidants, lots of fiber, lots of healthy fat, and good high-quality plant protein. So this is really a completely balanced meal. It's super delicious. It's, as I mentioned, it's balanced. It's super healthy, of course, and super affordable. Can always keep these ingredients around, and it's fast and easy. So this is one of my favorite, wow, I didn't mean to make so much noise there. One of my favorite dishes to just sort of whip up whenever. And Joanna, I believe it was, asked a question about having a drink, so I will answer that question before I go. So when it comes to having a drink, depending upon how alcohol affects you, I would say it depends on the person and how it affects you. I say it would depend on the recommendation that I give in terms of having alcohol now during this very stressful time. So if you are eating an overall healthy diet and you can consume, let's say, 1 glass of wine, and that doesn't lead you to have disrupted sleep and it doesn't lead you to overeat all night long while you're watching Netflix, then by all means, go for it if it is actually relaxing for you and it doesn't cause any of those other issues. If you are somebody that has a glass of wine and then it leads to other, overeating, disruptive sleep, then of course I would say really try to steer clear of it. And just like a normal time in our lives, when you're going out, pick and choose the night. So even though we're in and we're home every night, still pick and choose the night. So perhaps still treat Friday night as a treat night and have your alcohol on that night, for example. Anyway, I'm going to see if we have any other questions. All right. Do we need to cut out carbs elsewhere? So sorry, I was just thinking if I had any other questions there. Do we need to cut out carbs? Okay, I'll make that my last question. So I don't think you need to be cutting out. I mean, if you're trying to lose weight and you're trying to reduce carbs in general, I would say stick with what you've been doing. Try to keep up your exercise. Try to keep up your normal, healthy diet for what you've been doing. Your diet shouldn't change right now as far as the proportion of nutrients you need. You should be focusing on having the most nutrient-dense foods to keep yourself as nourished as possible, to support your immune system. Drink your water, get your sleep, de-stress by doing things like meditation. So we should be doing all of those things that we normally should be doing. And if you are keeping up your exercise by doing things like at-home workouts, your diet shouldn't change dramatically. If you are not keeping up your exercise like that and you truly listen to your body, you should be feeling a little less hunger, true hunger. That's not to say that you might not be feeling the desire to eat, which is a whole other topic about emotional eating. But if you are maintaining your workouts as, to some extent, and you are listening to your body and fueling it as you're, when you're slightly hungry and stopping when you're slightly satisfied and eating a nice proportion of nutrients, I don't think you need to be dramatically reducing anything that you were doing before this whole situation. So anyway, I am going to jump now. I wanted to give you that super fast, delicious, healthy, affordable dish, and I hope you make it. And if you make it, please hashtag Nutritious Life Official hashtag Living a Nutritious Life. You can tag us at Nutritious Life Official if you want, because I want to see it. I want to see what you've made, and please stay home, stay safe, stay healthy, and thanks for watching here. Mwah! Bye.